Jacob M, can you read this one?
Yeah, just pulling it up, sorry.
Okay.
To-do list. Let's create a to-do list project using the concept we have learned. The to-do list will be able to add new items to the to-do list, as well as remove existing items. First, we create the HTML. Click the button should, clicking the button should add the value of the input field to our OL list.
Okay. Take a second and answer the next question. All right. Fill in the blanks. We've got an H1 here, so we've got our closing H1, our ordered list here, our closing ordered list, and our list item here, and closing list item. Bill, can you read this one?
To-do list. Now having the HTML ready, we can start writing our jQuery code. First, we handle the click event for the button. Inside the event handler, we select the value of the input field and create a new li element, adding it to the list. The code above takes the value of the input field, assigns it to the val variable, and the if statement checks that the value is not blank and then creates a new li element. A button for removing it is added, after which the newly created element is added to the OLID equals my list. Here's the complete code in action. The remove button is not working yet. We will handle it in the next section.
All right. So let's go ahead and click try it yourself. So we run this, just type something, and it gets added. Just add something else. So looking at the code, so we've got our input and we're saving it in a variable val, and we're taking the input right here and so after this add, the hashtag add, the button that we've created right here, this ID add, has been clicked, then it puts that into a val or to a variable, and if this is not equal, because remember the quotate or the exclamation point and equals, or equals if you want the literal, is not equal to nothing. So like if I try adding it now, nothing's happening, right? If it's not equal to nothing, it's saying do this, right? Take this element, this list item, where is it? Something it's creating, hold on. Yeah, so it's creating this and it's adding the text, adding text from this right here, and it's appending, it's adding this button here as well, this remove, which we haven't used yet, and appending it after my list right here. Any questions on that? And then, oh, and then this right here, this input.val is then resetting this to 0 or to nothing, so that we can type in it again. Any questions on how that works? Okay. Go ahead and answer the next question. Okay, fill in the blanks to create a new div element and add it to the element with ID test. So we've got the ID test, so hashtag tests, we're getting that, and we're appending this variable E that we're creating with where it gets the div elements. Okay, or actually, it's creating a new div element with that one. Okay. David S., can you read this one?
To-do list. All that is left to handle is the click on the class equals rem button and remove the corresponding list element from the list. Remember, this is a current object. The code above removes the parent of the current object, which is, in our case, is the parent of the remove button, the list element. The to-do list was just a short demonstration of how to handle events and build a simple project. Excuse me.
All right. So running this one. Now we add something. If we click it, it's removed because we added this function right here that's saying if, on click, do this function, this parent dot remove. Any questions on that? Okay. Go ahead and answer the next question. Okay, which keyword represents the current object? This. All right, go ahead, answer the first question in the quiz. Okay, fill in the blanks to add an event handler to the paragraph. So just like with JavaScript, on click, but this is the jQuery way of doing it. So on click, do this function, and then it does whatever code you have there. Go ahead, answer the next one. Okay, what will the output be, or what will be the output after the div is clicked 2 times? Okay, so we've got this div with a on-click function, and so it takes the div right here and gets the text, and then here's our selector to select the div and get the text and add 1 to it, but it's a and then we click it again, then it adds another 1. All right, go ahead, answer the next one. Okay, fill in the blanks to remove the click event handler from all A elements. So A, we're turning off the click function. Go ahead, answer the next one. Okay. How many A characters will be output after the div is clicked 3 times? So we've got our A right here, and then we've got we're getting our div, and then on click, so when we click it, do this function, and it's adding an A, so it added an A, so now we have 2, but then we turned it off, the div off, so we can't click it 3 times. Well, we can click it, but nothing's going to happen. And so all that's ever left is the 2 A's. All right. So Brian A., can you read this one?
Hide and show. Query has some easy to implement effects to create animations. The hide and show methods are used to hide and show the selected elements. The toggle method is used to toggle between hiding and showing elements. For example, the hide, show, and toggle methods can take an optional argument speed, which specifies the animation speed in milliseconds. For example, let the pass 1000 milliseconds as the speed argument is to the toggle method. The hide, show, and toggle methods can also take a second optional parameter callback, which is the function that can be executed after the animation completes.
Okay, so we'll do this one. So with the toggle method, so just like toggle in JavaScript, when we toggle it, does it basically on and off or show and hide. Okay. And with this one, so we've got it set, we're passing in the parameter of the second, so every 1 second, so let's click that, and then it takes a second to do that. So if we changed it to 3 seconds, why is it not running? Should just do it really slow. Okay. Oh, duh. I didn't click it. It just does it really slow. All right. Go ahead and Jacob, you have a question. What's that?
Now, when you do that, does that shrink the whole cell? So will the whole page shrink as it happens, or will it just keep an empty block and you won't see that stuff?
Right, you just won't see it. I mean, I guess if you
So
did,
it'll hold
like,
that cell on the
toggle
page, right?
body or something, uh, everything would go away. But when you're just doing just that paragraph, it's just going to do the side because we're doing this div, so it's just going to toggle the div.
Got it. Okay.
Okay. Go ahead, answer the next one. The speed parameter for toggle method is in milliseconds, just like everything for programming or for JavaScript. Mike, can you read this one?
Yeah, fade in and out. Similar to the hide show methods, jQuery provides the fade in, fade out methods, which fade an element in and out of visibility. Just like the toggle method switches between hiding and showing, the fade toggle method fades in and out. Let's see fade toggle in action. Just like the
Let's
sure.
watch it first, and then we'll see it's got a little fade. Okay, sorry, keep going.
Sure. Just like the fade toggle takes two optional parameters, speed and callback. Another method used for fading is fade to, which allows fading to a given opacity value between 0 and 1. For example, fade to 0.7.
Okay, go ahead, answer the next one. Okay. Fill in the blanks to fade the paragraph to 60% opacity in 2 seconds. So 2000 for 2 seconds and 0.06 for 60%. Roger, can you read this one?
Yeah, slide up and down. The slide up parentheses and slide down parentheses methods are used to create a sliding effect on elements. Again, similar to the previous toggle methods, the slide toggle method switches between the sliding effects and can take two optional parameters, speed and callback. Run the code and see how it works.
Okay. So slides up and down in half a second. Go ahead, answer the next one. Fill in the blanks to slide down the div element in 3 seconds upon clicking the paragraph. So select the paragraph, and once it's clicked, do this function of getting the div and doing slide down in 3 seconds. Almost done. Should finish this today.
Good.
Sandra, can you read this one?
Animate. The animate method lets you animate to a set value or to a value relative to the current value. You need to define the CSS properties to be animated as its parameter in JSON format key value pairs. The second parameter defines the speed of the animation. For example, the following code animates the width property of the div in 1 second to the value 250 pixel. Example, note the JSON format for providing the CSS parameter. The JSON syntax was also used in the previous modules when manipulating CSS properties. You can animate any CSS property using the above method syntax, but there is one important thing to remember. All properties names must be camel case when used with the animate method. Camel case is the practice of writing compound words or phrases such that each word or abbreviation begins with a capital letter with the first word in lowercase. You will need to write padding left instead of padding dash left, margin right instead of margin dash right, and so on.
So do y'all understand how camel case works?
Just put a dash in between. Is that the difference?
No, the difference is not putting the dash in between.
Oh.
It's
The
doing
lowercase start and then uppercase second word.
in third and fourth and fifth. So if there's multiple words, each new word has a capital letter. So yeah. Okay, so let's run this. Okay, so with this, they've got JSON, but they've only passed in one parameter. So if we wanted, since it's JSON, you just add a comma and we do height. X. Now when we run it, we can grow both the height and the width, and you could keep adding more parameters in here, like if we want to change like the background color or whatever CSS stuff you want to change, you could add in here and just make sure it's camel case instead of having the dashes. Okay, any questions on that? Nope. Okay. Go ahead and answer the next one. Okay. Which of the following can be used with animate method? Padding left because it's camel case. Patricia, can you read this one? Oh, you're muted.
I'm sorry. Animate. Multiple properties can be animated at the same time by separating them with commas. For example, it is also possible to define relative values, the values then relative to the element's current value. This is done by putting plus equals or minus equals in front of the value. To stop an animation before it is finished, jQuery provides a stop method.
Okay. Well, we just kind of already demonstrated that, so we don't need to do it again. Oh, dang it. Well, this one, fill in the blanks to animate the opacity and height properties of the div element in 5 seconds. So we want to do dot animate, add just set the opacity, add a comma to separate it, and then do the height plus equals and at 5 seconds. Okay. Kevin B, can you read this one?
Animation queue. By default, jQuery comes with queue functionality for animations. This means that if you write multiple animate calls one after another, jQuery creates an internal queue for these method calls when it runs the animate calls one by one. For example, each animate method call will run one after another. Remember, to manipulate the position of elements, you need to set the CSS position property of the element to relative, fixed, or absolute. The animate method, just like the hide, show, fade, slide methods, can take an optional callback function as its parameter, which is executed after the current effect is finished.
Okay. So we'll watch this. And it's just changing the height and width and adjusting the size or adjusting the height and width and position and over the course of half a second, and then just keep adding more animations just by adding the semicolon. All right, any questions on that? Okay. Go ahead, answer the next one. Okay. By default, jQuery creates a queue for each animate call. True. Mark H, can you read this one?
Yes. Drop-down menu. Let's create a simple drop-down menu that will open upon clicking on the menu item. The code above handles the click event of the ID item element and close the submenu in 500 milliseconds. Run the code to see it in action. You can also check out the CSS used for styling the item.
Okay. So we'll run this and it does the drop down in half a second. Okay. Go ahead, answer the next one. Okay, fill in the blanks to hide the element in 1.5 seconds. So hide in 1.5 seconds. All right, and we are done other than the quiz. So go ahead and answer the first question on the quiz. Okay. Fill in the blanks to hide all paragraphs upon clicking the div element. Div.click executes this function and it gets all, we're selecting all the paragraphs and we are hiding them. All right, go ahead, answer the next one. Okay, for how many seconds will the following animation group run? So we've got, we don't really even need to look at all this stuff, just look at the seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Go ahead, answer the next one. Okay, fill in the blanks to create a valid animation, p.animate, and then we're wanting it to do this. And so it's just adding the height or setting the height to 10, and then the width to plus equals 100, opacity to 50% at 1 second. All right. Congratulations. Now go ahead and get your certificate. And so we'll start Python on Monday, or sorry, Tuesday. So for the rest of the time, just go ahead and work on your resume projects. And if you have any questions, just let me know. I'll log out real quick.
Hey,
What's up, David?
hey, I disconnected during the quiz.
Oh, okay. Well, let me log out real quick and then I'll pull it back on. 1 sec.
Okay. Thanks.